You're traveling back in time. Millions of years flash by in seconds.
Mega monsters terrorize the seas. So enormous, so terrifying, so deadly. Even the great dinosaurs were no match for these super beasts from the deep. Now, the Discovery Channel and zoologists are blasting off on the fantasy expedition of all time, to the beginning of time, long before the Earth was fit for human habitation.
You're going face to face with the wildest creatures that ever walked the earth.
Explore the ancient world and come face to face with creatures too horrible to imagine. On a countdown to the 7 deadliest seas and meanest monsters of all time.
We're about to explore Prehistoric Planet.
The expedition's first stop, the Ordovician era. It will be a perilous trek along the ancient timeline, all the way back to the dawn of life on Earth, long before the Ice Age, before the first humans, even before the dinosaurs. The Ordovician is a mind-boggling 450 million years ago. So far back, plants have yet to cover the land. It's a world ruled by creepy crawly and crusty creatures, where mankind wouldn't stand a chance. Welcome to New York City, or what will one day become New York City. Only in the Ordovician, it sits on the equator, a harsh, inhospitable wasteland. With so little oxygen, humans would need a special air mix to survive.
The atmosphere at this time, it's atrocious. Much less oxygen and much more carbon dioxide than I'm used to. Without this special air mix, I'd really feel sick and get bad headaches. See, there's no life here. There's no animals, not even worms in the ground, no birds. But it's a different story. Gestures toward nearby water. Out there in the sea, there's been life here for hundreds of millions of years. And you can take it from me, evolution has produced some real monsters.
It's time to go fishing for sea monsters. In the Ordovician, bait is never a problem. With no land animals to gobble up the critters the sea spits out, the beaches are littered with all kinds of rotting organisms.
And now, it's a shallow water.
First future New York City resident to appear is a sea scorpion. This is Megalograptus. They are 4 feet long, they got no stingers, and their favorite meal are trilobites and fish. It's probably not directly related to the nasty little suckers we know today, but in the Ordovician, they grew to 6 feet long. There's no venom in its tail, and yet given half the chance, those menacing pincers up front could do some real damage.
It slashed my leg over there. Well, I'll have a scar as a souvenir on my leg. Well, well, what do we have? It's a trilobite called isotellus, means equal sphere, and this could be useful for the camera. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll use it on a fish on a stick. So, I need to install the camera. So trilobites have been extinct over a million years ago. So I'm going to insert this into the camera. So what I needed to do, okay, let's put this camera. So what I needed to do is to install it. So if you're squeamish, you may look away. Right, it's going to be useful for tomorrow.
But you need light to take pictures. And this first day back in time was ending much too early. Or was it? 450 million years ago, the Earth was spinning faster than it does now. So the day was only 21 hours long. The Earth is still slowing down today. A few 100 million years from now, we could be looking at a 28 or even 30-hour day.
Day that I was hoping to get my first dive with a sea monster. In my tank, I had a special air mix. If I tried to breathe the Ordovician air at pressure underwater, I would have become unconscious because of the high carbon dioxide content. I also have something that was a bit before its time, a shark-proof suit. Now, sharks haven't evolved yet, but I hope this would give me some protection from the dreadful sea scorpions. Let's go!
The chemistry of the water would have been very similar to our oceans today. The temperature, a balmy 75 degrees.
Doesn't look very appetizing, but for the predators around here, this should be a tasty snack, and I'm hoping that camera is going to catch the moment when a monstrous predator tries to snap us up. There's an armor-plated fish!
The astrospis is actually a primitive fish. It measures 20 centimeters in length. It has shell-like armor. Incredibly, it feeds on deep water.
There's two of them. Something. It's a sea scorpion. They also like trilobites. Come on, let go!
The Ordovician Sea would have been similar to our tropics, with coral reefs and many of the same sponges and seaweed we would recognize. But the fish couldn't be more different. Smaller, no teeth, and mostly living on the sea floor, sucking up mud. It was late afternoon before the fish started to bite.
Come on. Let go. Let go. Well, that's the end of the trial by cam. And I have got to see what that is. I don't know what's happened here, but if I follow the line, I should be able to find the predator. The camera is not at the end, which probably means that the predator isn't far away. This is intriguing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they're all gathering, but first, there was this one sea scorpion, then there was another, then another, then another. And now they're all around me. There are a whole carpet of them moving along the seafloor. They're whizzing past my head. They're all heading in one direction. And there it is. It's an orthocone.
On his voyage back in time, Dimitri Pintele has come face to face with the most threatening beast the world has ever seen. Make way for Camarasaurus. Its name means chambered horn, and this 20-foot-long cephalopod is the top predator of the Ordovician Sea. The time is 450 million years ago, and these behemoths grow up to 40 feet long from the tentacles to the top of its shell.
He sends me here. I feel my heart hammering. I want to get grabbed by those tentacles and those simple eyes. That will just, if I start flashing the light, that will discourage him.
The orthocone's simple eyes may have been frightening, but they weren't much when it came to sophisticated optics. There was no lens whatsoever, just a hole that let in light, much like a child's pinhole camera.
Now he's gone. I can't see where he is. There's still sea scorpions now. And there's an orthocone! And he spotted one of the sea scorpions! They're dragged back onto the mouth. There's a horny beak. Oh, I can hear it! I can actually hear underwater. Hear the crunching sounds as the sea scorpions are crushed by the beak.
It's likely that orthocones spend most of their lives in deep water, where little light penetrates, so they've never had good eyesight. Instead, they rely on another sense. They actually smell out their prey and then simply crush it to bits.
The orthocone, that really is the top predator of Ordovician times.
They had no competition and would have fed on pretty much anything they came across, from sea scorpions and trilobites to smaller orthocones and whatever fish might swim by. The deeper Nigel rode, the gloomier and more menacing his free ride became. Eventually, he decided the orthocone had reached his stop. It was definitely time to get off.
Thanks, orthocone. Thanks for the ride.
This is where the sea scorpions were headed, to join a mass spawning on the beach, much like their distant cousins of today, the horseshoe crab. It's a full moon and one of the highest tides of the year. Their eggs are protected in the sand until the next high tide washes the young larvae back out to sea. The Ordovicious period was no picnic. The air had little oxygen. Nothing grew on the land, and the sea was filled with predators. Not exactly a garden of Eden. But prehistory still had far worse to offer. The next deadly sea is the Triassic. To get there, Nigel would have to travel halfway forward again toward the 21st century, to 230 million years BC. It's a time when reptiles are taking over the oceans, and the first dinosaurs are only just beginning to appear. The Triassic Age represents a sea change for the monsters of the deep. For the first time, the most dominant creatures of the sea originated on land. They aren't sharks or shellfish or even mammals. Welcome to the Age of the Reptile. In 230 million years, this would be the middle of the Swiss Alps. For now, the Earth was still made up of only one giant continent and one enormous sea. Reptiles dominate everywhere now. Winged reptiles, the pterosaurs, control the skies. While the future lords of the land, the dinosaurs, are just beginning to get a toehold on terra firma.
Of course, I was here to explore life in the sea, home to the largest Triassic reptiles of them all. Fortunately, sea reptiles are easy enough to spot because they have to come up for air. My first sighting was a nothosaur.
Meet Nothosaurus. The name means false lizard. It measures up to 13 feet long and has needle-sharp teeth for catching fish. While Nothosaur would have had no trouble killing a man, it likely wouldn't bother, preferring a diet of fish and smaller marine reptiles. And yet there were larger reptiles in the ocean at the time that would have gladly torn Nigel to shreds.
There's not just one nothosaur, there's a pair of them. They're inquisitive. They're coming closer. They're just curious. You don't know how they're going to react. I'm glad I've got this electric prod in case they become just too inquisitive. But at the moment, they're just curious. They're circling around me. They've got a mouthful of teeth like razors. They're interlocking. That would seem to me to be the perfect fish trap.
None of the major predators of the age have any relatives in the 21st centuries. Although Nothosaurus is considered closest to a sea lion in its habits and behavior. And yet a Triassic ocean would be quite familiar to us in the 21st century. Apart from the marine reptiles, there were modern fish, including sharks, just not turtles or whales or dolphins. Nothosaurus can clamp their jaws closed with hydraulic force, but the muscles that open them are weak. Like all sea reptiles, they breathe air.
Come on, boy. Off you go.
Also lurking in Triassic waters was one of the most preposterous creatures that ever lived, Tanystrophus. It grows up to 20 feet long and has a 10-foot neck. Its diet consists of insects, fish, and reptiles. While it had the longest neck the laws of physics would allow, its small head was also considered an asset, allowing it to sneak up on schools of fish that wouldn't notice the rest of it until it was too late.
Dropped its tail. This has happened to me many times when I was a little kid catching lizards. They do this as well, and this is an insurance policy. If they're attacked by a predator, the predator is distracted by the tail, and the creature can escape, and like lizards, he'll grow the tail again. It shouldn't do him much harm. Golly, look, he's swimming away, perfectly there. Golly, this tail is spasming so much. I can hardly hold on to it. Whoa! Where did that come from? I think it's Symbospondylus, one of the group great marine reptiles, the ichthyosaurs.
Symbospondylus. At 30 feet long, this carnivorous reptile can sink schools of fish, cephalopods, and even small reptiles. Symbospondylus are fast swimmers, meaning boat vertebrae, evolved in a variety of forms and stuck around for another 100 million years. It was one of the largest of the ichthyosaurs and ruled the Triassic seas, often growing to 30 feet in length. While not exactly graceful, one powerful blast of its mighty tail would propel a sudden burst of speed, normally enough to keep up with faster prey. Standard diet for a Symbospondylus included cephalopods, fish, and other marine reptiles.
God, my heart's hammering. He lunged at me. I need the electric prong now. He's coming again. He's coming again. And I'm gonna use it. What a spectacular reptile.
On the move again, deeper into the past, to the Devonian Age, about 360 million years ago. The monsters here would make a rhino seem thin-skinned.
I'm using a time map to get my head around where I've been. These spans of time are so immense. My first adventure, I went back in time 450 million years ago to ride an orthicone and tussle with sea scorpions. My second dive, that was 230 million years before the present day. That was with those bizarre sea reptiles. We're now here, 360 million years ago. Welcome to the age of giant armored fish.
Even the prey here wears body armor. But the top predator of the Devonian can bite right through it with one crunch of its massive teeth and vice-like jaws. That would be Dunkleosteus, a gladiator of a fish covered with armor and a battering ram for a head. Over 30 feet long and weighing as much as 3 elephants, on the radar it had the profile of a city bus. It was twice as tough. The plan was to hand-feed a Dunkleosteus.
I really needed bait.
The hope was that even Dunkleosteus couldn't get his massive jaws around the steel sphere. Bothriopus measured up to 60 centimeters in length. Incredibly, it was an armored fish compared to other placoderms. Bothriopus had small jaws and teeth.
This could be good. It's a big tug. Fortunately for me, there's plenty of life in the sea in the Devonian. Unlike on land, whereas yet, there's no creatures bigger than a centipede.
Most of the creatures swimming around in the Devonian age were also placoderms, from a Greek word meaning armored skin. There's nothing in the 21st century that even comes close.
This is how you feel the most vulnerable, actually swimming over the cage with a great chunk of bait. Alright, I'm here. Fingers crossed. Look what has arrived. This must be the most preposterous shark ever.
Stethocyanthus was in fact a primitive shark. It measured up to 7 feet long. These sharks had a dorsal fin shaped like an iron board.
Look at that fin in the back. Scientists call it the iron board shark. And you can see why. Must be a male, probably to help with mating, probably to display to females, maybe using courtship battles between males. And these are some of the first sharks that ever to evolve. And this is great, I'm such a shark fan. But this is surreal. And he's been spooked by something. It's a Dunkleosteus! It must have been smelling the bait. This is what we came for. And he's heading straight towards us.
Watch out for the Dunkleosteus. It was 30 feet long by every inch. It had thick armor on its head. That's where a giant armored fish comes in. These fish had powerful jaws that crushed bones like a vice.
See that really thick protective armor on the head here? Over 2 inches thick. Only the first third body is covered in that.
For anyone swimming 360 million years ago, Dunkleosteus was the creature you most wanted to avoid, like a great white today. It was the super predator of its day, with 2 razor-sharp shearing plates instead of teeth that cut like scissors. Anything caught between them would be instantly sliced in 2.
Let's see if I can win my bet. Come on! This is no fisherman's tale. This is a real monster. And this is getting a little scary now. This is getting serious. He really walloped the cage there. The bars over there, they're a bit dented. He's coming again. He's faster this time. Oh! Oh, he slammed that cage. Wow. Let's see if I can win my breath for the crew. Ah! But there's a little Dunkleosteus over there. These little tidbits.
Like some super predators today, Dunkleosteus was suspected of cannibalism, even as part of a mating ritual. And as for its table manners,
believe it or not, this is normal behavior.
the Devonian was a violent age. Even though placoderms were well protected, nothing could save them once Dunkleosteus began licking his chops. The excursion treks forward again along the timeline, landing just 36 million years ago, right about midway between the extinction of the dinosaurs and modern day. It's the Eocene Age, the fourth most dangerous sea of all time, and home of the most ferocious sea mammal that ever lived. A mangrove swamp in the Eocene Age is one of the luscious habitats the Earth has ever known. And yet this very spot would become the Sahara Desert, eventually commanding views of both Cairo and the pyramids. But far worse was in store, and soon. In only a few million years, the Earth would suffer its first cataclysmic extinction. An estimated 20% of all life would be blown away.
The Eocene is the beginning of time of the mammals. They rule the earth, they rule the sea, and as I was about to find out, they even rule the bit in between. These look really promising. Look, the feet have sprayed out just like a camel to support the weight spread. The weight is so they don't sink into the sand. But it's really curious track. Look, they're widely spaced. Most animals, when they walk on its one foot in front of the other, it's almost like this animal swings the weight of its body from side to side as it's walking along this really weird, so it must be a big animal that waddles around. Let me see if I can every tracker's dream look like a pile of fresh dunk. So fresh you can almost feel the heat. Oh yeah, smell that is really sweet, but not too unpleasant. A sweet smell, and I think the animal I'm looking for is the fruit eater. That made me feel more comfortable walking around, but even fruit eaters can be dangerous, so I still had to mind to step until at least I knew it. What I was dealing with. Wow. Shh, quiet. This is a fruit eater. But is this a rhino? Not quite. This relative is the elephant. Isn't that snout look familiar?
This is Arsinoitherium. He measures over 11 feet long, the same size as the modern brown bear. He's a two-horned mammal, similar to the rhinoceros. Incredibly, he is related to elephants.
They are most vertical at this, and he uses for defense and for fighting. I've got disadvantages to look. He's looking at me now, but he can't look because the horns are actually covered to his eyes. He knows we're here, but he's not approaching or anything, not running away. He's edgy, but I really want to get a closer look. Okay. I'm going to try see whatever he like to eat something from the 21st century.
Arsinoitherium might look like a rhino, but he's actually an elephant's distant cousin. And yet he lives like a hippon, on land and in the sea. Arsinoitherium is a sea monster, all right, but an amphibious one. There's plenty of food in the mangroves for such a huge vegetarian, but living with the tides took some getting used to. And now he's probably more at home in the water than on the beach. With legs that are permanently bent, he's a great swimmer, but not much when it comes to walking. The Eocene is a momentous age for mammals. They'd be extinct in only another 1,000,000 years, yet some were soon totally adapted to life in the ocean.
They are Dorodon. Their name means spear-toothed. And this 16-foot-long carnivorous whale likes nothing more than to sink that mouth full of spears into small fish.
Dorodon would never make it in the CIA, like some modern dolphins. But there's a real sea monster roaming these waters that looks strikingly similar, but eats Dorodon for breakfast. This was a truly monstrous creature, one of the largest marine predators of all time.
We will be sailing right in the middle of the Tethys Sea. So I'll show you the map and the creature. Right here is the Tethys Sea. So this is the Sahara Desert through Europe and Asia. So the sea dries up and becomes the Sahara Desert. So we have this picture. The Basilosaurus, it means king lizard. They thought they were reptiles, but they are mammals too. So this is the skull of a Basilosaurus. Look at these teeth. See those teeth? So we'll set sail.
Okay, once we reach our destination, it's time to use this equipment. The recording equipment here. This will have a conversation. We should locate the whales are. That's spooky. That's definitely a whale. Maybe we found Basilosaurus. Okay, so we have this. It's a speaker. So they will attract the whale up front. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here in the center. Okay, now the speaker is in there, and now we just wait. Whoa! What is that? You know how long these animals are going to hang out. She gotta be fast.
Basilosaurus could reach 75 feet in length, even larger than a sperm whale.
This is exciting. It could come from anywhere beneath me, behind me. So I'm actually using the boat as a shield. This big shape here, it's as though there's a really massive super predator around, so they won't come in too close. They haven't got as big as a brain as among whales. They're not such social animals, so they may treat a person as prey. So will come any moment now. Oh! Wow!
Basilosaurus is an early whale, actually. She's 50 feet long, same as 5 elephants lined up tail to trunk. It takes 200 pounds of fish every day to keep her full. And her favorite flavor is shark.
Basilosaurus was most definitely a whale, but in these warm waters, it didn't need the tons of blubber like its modern descendants.
I'm glad I'm next to the boat. Wouldn't fancy being in open water with this one. I wish the sound technician, I wish he'd turn this off. It's really starting to distress the whale. He's coming in close. Wow. She's actually bitten the speaker. She's shaking it like a terrier, shaking a rat. So we've lost our speaker, but doesn't matter. We had a brilliant view of a Basilosaurus.
The Eocene age is home to monsters from the 4th most dangerous sea of all time. But that will change as the continents drift and cold waters flow into tropical seas. And the great mass extinction to come will claim the mighty Basilosaurus too. On the move again. From the Eocene forward to the Pliocene, when our earliest ancestors were just starting to walk upright, and sharks, the creatures of our worst nightmares, were even bigger and more dangerous than they are today. This time, we're hunting the largest shark that ever lived. The Pliocene Age, as recent as 4 million years ago, and the third most dangerous sea of all time. This is the home of the largest shark that ever lived. The search for Megalodon will take them further out to sea, an area jam-packed with marine life. All of it potential prey for the ultimate predator in these waters.
We're in Peru, right on the rim of the Pacific Ocean, and living out there is something terrifying. So if you're afraid of sharks, you'll be a gibbering wreck. So we're gonna try out to see what we're gonna do. Look, the most famous jaws of history are great white sharks. I swam with those in the open ocean, but they're minnows in comparison to the prehistoric shark I'm hoping to meet. Megalodon, the biggest carnivorous fish that has ever lived. That name Megalodon, it means big tooth. So I don't think I can explain why.
Hunting a megalodon was asking for trouble. At 60 feet long, they were the largest predatory shark of all time. Now in the third deadliest sea, the growing danger was causing friction among the crew.
Maybe, but first I need to start with the juveniles, and then we'll go head out to see the adults.
Diving with sharks is like buying real estate. Location is everything. Like young great whites, juvenile megalodons prefer the shallow water, away from the grown-ups, but near their favorite prey.
I'm hugging the kill pit, so I don't want to go. They don't go in the suite like this. And there, Odoponosatops leptodon.
They measure up to 11 feet in length compared to other whales. They have 2 tusks like a narwhal, but just one. Odobenocetops means walrus-faced whale.
It must be 11 feet long, but the males have these bizarre tusks. It's about 3 feet long, and the males probably use it for jousting at each other at the breeding season, just like narwhals. They are superb. Flipping heck, look! I can't take my eyes off that. The biggest great white shark ever was just over 20 feet long. That thing, it must be 3 years old, and that's the size already.
And a fully grown megalodon would be 3 times the size of a great white. They'd seen juvenile megalodons, but didn't know enough about them yet to feel safe in the water nearby. Rather than wait for an attack, the plan was to provoke one.
This Odobenocetops, you wouldn't fool me or anything. We have this, is the seal prey dummy. Let's use it as an Odobenocetops, so we could see them. Let's see. There it is. Oh! Looks like the onboard... Oh! Looks like the onboard camera got a shock of its life. Let's see what happens to the decoy. It bit like a Dunkleosteus when we encountered in the 5th most dangerous sea of all time. Look at that. The damage is done. The damage is done. Look. Bit off. Boom. So leaving the juveniles behind, we traveled 20 miles offshore, and now it's time to meet a monster. Alright, that's good enough. Drop the anchor. Okay, so we have, here's the chum and the fish oil. What we need to do is to throw it out in the water. And good thing. To see the megalodon. So most importantly, I've got here is shark cam. So it won't come, so in a couple days we'll pop up on the surface. It won't hurt the shark, and we'll get some insight to the behavior of the wild megalodon. Over there. Over there. This couldn't be anything than a sail than a fin.
The shark cage was a sort of no man's land, but it was impossible to know if it would hold up against such a massively powerful opponent.
My bad.
Megalodon. It measures up to 50 feet long. It has 7-inch teeth. In addition, the megalodon is the largest shark in the world.
Come on.
A megalodon's teeth can grow up to almost a foot long. In jaws, they can open more than 6 feet wide. Fossils have been found with megalodon teeth dug deep into whale bone.
Off the surface. I'm getting out of this cage. I do it in outside boat. Watch the shark. We get him along right here. You idiot! Don't move that chum back. You can still see the shark. Yes! Success at last. I called you an idiot. I was scared when I jumped in.
The shark cam captured a day in the life of a megalodon in the Pliocene age.
There's an Odobenocetops. So actually, this is not an Odobenocetops. It's actually a species of whale. Shark's gone down, and then he's gonna to hunt the whale.
The point of view of a perfect predator, patrolling the waters of an ancient sea.
It's going down. You got momentum to attack. And He's attacking! He's attacking! Oh! This is a cloud of blood. It knocked the camera out. This shark even attacks living whales. And by the looks of it.
But even this perfectly designed predator will be unable to defend itself against the coming ice age. As the oceans turn colder, whales will adapt and migrate up to the icy polar regions, while Megalodon, without the whale's protective blubber, will be forced to stay in the warmer water around the equator, and deprived of its prey, will be starved into extinction. Leaving the third most dangerous sea behind, the next stop is the Jurassic, a jump from 4 million to 155 million years ago. The Jurassic is the dinosaurs' heyday, and home to some of the most colossal creatures the world has ever known.
I've come to the Jurassic because it's the land of monstrous creatures. On the land, they are giant dinosaurs, and here in the water, well, look at that!
This is the lead sickness. It measures over 54 feet long, the size of a sperm whale. As a sperm whale, it weighs over 45 tons and is the largest fish in the world.
And that's why I'm here to see one of the most massive marine reptiles that has ever lived. These bizarre fish are like behemoths of the sea. What they do, they'll filter out any plankton floating in the ocean. Whenever there's fish, healthy fish, or sick fish, you can see from over there, there's no moving fin there. Already, it's attracting some of the most predators in these Jurassic seas.
The Metriorhynchus is without a doubt a marine crocodile. It measures 10 feet long, the size of a kayak. It has no armor plating. Metriorhynchus are fast swimmers.
You just wouldn't expect some kind of marine crocodile. It's totally adapted for life in the sea. Great paddle-like feet, but look at the tail. There's no armor plating here. This creature is sacrificed for defensive speed. Oh, just a bit close. Back! Look at that. Below me is the most bizarre shark called Hybotus.
This shark grew up to 7 feet long. In fact, they are global sharks, so they roamed all oceans. Incredibly, Hybotus means hump-toothed.
See those strange horns on the top of its head? He's going into feast now! Twisted, he got a chunk of flesh. I feel sorry for the lead 60s. It's actually eating alive. There's no need to worry about sharks, marine crocodiles. Now I wouldn't see a massive marine reptile. And I have wooden no longer to wait.
So this is the injured lead 60s that we dived earlier. We have to move. Okay. But I'm sure they will attract more predators. And now we just wait. It, the 4 flippers, but I'm sure that's Liopleurodon. We gotta get to the...
Liopleurodon. Long name, longer body. 80 feet long. Throwing some 10-foot jaws, and boy are we happy he's extinct.
Wow. Just to say, I say Liopleurodon. Look at those flippers. They're really in that lead 60s. It's not moving anymore. It must be dead now. Scared it. It's disappearing in the millipede. Wow, this is fantastic! Well done.
Those Liopleurodon are awe-inspiring sea monsters. It'll be such a thrill to see them under the water. But of course, I need some protection. It's called smell suit. Let's see the tests. So we record it right here. They're gonna put the smell suit around the dummy. So we have the squid. So we have the dummy in the smell suit. And watch what happens. If the Liopleurodon, the younger ones, in shallow water, let's see what happens. It's called putrescence. Release a load of chemicals. Wacka. Oh. Well, it looks like it's called putrescence. Release the putrescence released the chemical. Let's see if I can get some protection if I go in the adults.
As I thought, and Liopleurodon, on perhaps even a pair of them that come back to the carcass. We've lost the light, but that doesn't matter of those animals. They live in the world of smell. We've got light, so we can see how any spooky down there, though. So I'm relying on the smell suit to protect me from the cameraman's going too. Oh, goodness. It's so enormous! Well, I am so glad the filth camera said nobody would believe there's a... There's a cracking view of these teeth. They are so distinctive. Well, they're like knife blades, kind of flesh of the lead 60s. The fish in peace and sort that there helps them to be that more powerful. That's why they can twist off little chunks of flesh. They don't pay attention to me, so that is really keeping me occupied. So I think I have to take a calculated risk as Isaac get close as I dare. The fish one. The fish one. The fish one. Oh, he's coming close! Oh! It's time for me to get out of here!
Hold on, Dimitri. You're not finished yet. From the second most dangerous sea, there's only one place left to go. It's called Hell's Aquarium. A relatively short hop forward again from the Jurassic to 75 million years ago. It won't be long before a giant meteor plunges to Earth, marking the end of the dinosaurs. But first, the mother of all close encounters in the most deadly sea of all time.
We're in the familiar site of the coast of the Cretaceous. These birds are called Hesperornis.
This bird is 6 feet long. It is a large flightless bird, like a penguin. The Hesperornis has a toothed beak.
They are so resisting, it's right in the middle of a colony. They're flightless like penguins, but as far as cute. Look at those dagger-like bills, but inside they've actually got teeth. Hesperornis, they have to be tough. They're true and around, they're born inspiring predators. On the land, there's T-Rex. In the water, while every time Hesperornis go on a fishing trip, they have to enter the deadliest sea of all time. So why is this sea more deadlier than the other? But it's not just one predator, there's a suite of them. There's frightening sharks, terrifying sea reptiles, and even a fish in here you couldn't imagine in your worst nightmares. I call this Hell's Aquarium. It's so jam-packed with killers. To the right a bit. To the right a bit. Oh my goodness. Keep going right. There's a real blood patch. Pass me your periscope, please. With this, I should take a little peek into this bloodbath. I want to see what's going on. Such a flooring activity down there. With the shark is right in the middle of a feeding frenzy.
The Squalocorax measures 9 feet in length. These sharks are predators and scavengers. Squalocorax means crow shark.
What is that? That is one grotesque fish. And that's more like a bulldog than a fish.
This is a Xiphactinus. It measures 20 feet long from head to tail. It is a large, bony fish. Xiphactinus is the general predator of the Cretaceous.
There's a big one coming right at the periscope. He's got a Hesperornis in its mouth. Hesperornis, they're over 6 feet long. And it's swallowing it down. One go. But there's something else in there that looks familiar, with the ominous shape of a mosasaur.
Meet Halosaurus. It's over 13 feet long. It has an eel-like tail for swimming. Halosaurus means sea lizard.
That's where we heading.
Everyone's worst nightmare, a flying reptile. It's called a pteranodon. And now there is no place that is truly safe, not even the boat. Then again, neither are they. They catch fish in these waters, but in the age of sea monsters, fish also catch them. The next morning, the crew was in for a nasty surprise.
We hit something with a tremendous clunk. It was a body of a turtle, like no turtle alive in the 21st century. It was huge. It looked like an archelon, an ancient species over 2 tons in weight. This one had been bitten in two. Now we must have been in giant mosasaur country because nothing else could have done damage like this.
Even after seeing what it did to the archelon, they're still determined to meet up with the top predator in the most dangerous sea of all time.
Whoa, isn't this very interesting? There's creatures, and they're going right in the boat. This could be it! Not a giant mosasaur, but these some of the most exciting sea reptiles. I've always wanted to see these.
Elasmosaurus measured more than 34 feet in length. Their favorite food was small fish. They were slow-swimming reptiles.
Elasmosaurus? That was the front camera. And look at the camera facing backwards. Look what they're doing. They're rowing about saving energy just like dolphins do. Maybe these are migrating or something. We have to be quick, because this is the perfect opportunity to try out the ROV with this remotely operated camera. Now scare the ROV. They're diving. Can you go deeper? They're coming really close, but this one's investigating. Look away! Those small heads and those long necks may be waiting to deceive prey. Fish will be frightened by those big bodies, and what the Elasmosaurus can do? They sneak up heads right in the middle of a shoal, and then strike! Gosh, a living archelon! One of those giant turtles! I said I couldn't dive in the sea, it's just too dangerous. But I have got to get in with that.
Archelon measures 13 feet long and weighs up to 2,000 kilos. Archelon is the largest turtle in the world.
Right? I can see the archelon. See up there? Hope I don't get killed. He must come up again for air soon. That there's something big. All right, Archelon. Wait a minute! Who invited that guy? The terror of the Cretaceous Sea has taken his first victim, and he won't be his last.
Tylosaurus, 46 feet long, weighing about 7 tons. Furthermore, Tylosaurus is the largest and most dangerous marine predator of all time.
I'm so relieved. Now, back in the boat. Let's see if we can encounter. Some giant mosasaurs.
top predator of the Cretaceous Sea was now bearing down hard. And if there's anything worse than swimming with a 60-foot carnivorous reptile, it's swimming with the whole family. These aren't picky eaters, happy to gobble down virtually anything that happens to swim by. So far, they were choosing the Zyphactinus. Counting down to the 7 deadliest seas of all time. This was the worst.
Ooh, it shook me up.
And the worst was over. Or was it?